Whoops. Sorry about that. That intro screen was for something that I do as a ministry. Brad here. Look, folks, I wanted to jump on today and tell you a little bit about me, Big Family Homestead, Christa, the family, and why I am really concerned about the direction that this country and the world is going. And I figured, I could make a video, sure, but I think it's really important to hear your comments and your reactions as we're talking, as the conversation develops, because you guys are a part of this too. And you and me and everybody, can sway opinion. We can sway the direction of the course in which we are going. And I wanted to basically start by saying, look, I really do want to get to talking about how I think we can actually change things. I am concerned. I'm not scared. There's a big difference. Scared and concerned are two completely different things. Hey guys, I'm seeing DK, Homestead, Joan, and Heather. She is busy going batty, isn't she? In the chat. And I will try my best to catch comments as I'm trying to do this live, because guess what, folks? Sometimes you can catch them, sometimes you can't. So don't feel slighted if I don't grab your comment or react to what you're saying. But I figured the best way to do this is to give you the skinny on who we are, what we're doing, and why I am honestly and truthfully concerned. And I do think you should be too. I really, really do. It's not sensationalism. I'm not here trying to scare you into buying a doodad. And yeah, there's a lot of channels right now that are they make their bread and butter off of doom and gloom. Hey, crazy thing. There's stuff on the horizon. You better run. Oh my gosh, the sky's falling. And that's what they do. And okay, they can do that. Sure. I don't think that it's a healthy thing to just scare people into compliance. I'd rather you come to an understanding of here's a situation, and then you choose. You decide what you want to do with the information, right? Because what if somebody doesn't want to respond and get prepared for the what if scenarios of what could possibly be coming? Well, okay. That's fine. So I am concerned. We're going to get to that. Actually, why don't you do this? Do me a favor and say, what do you guys think in terms of where we're at as a country and the Western world? Because stats show that 95% of the people that watch this channel are either American, Canadian, or British or English speakers. So that said, are you concerned about the direction we're going in? I mean, we're heading into 2024, ladies and gents. Make a comment. At least hit that thumbs up to let me know that you're here, because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. So let me start by saying this. My name's Brad. Hello. You guys, hey, DK Homestead. How you doing this afternoon? Joan, Heather, Farah. Who doesn't love fudge, right? This is in the comments section. Grazing Greens, good to see you. Hey. Steve Gunner. Shelby, is that all of you guys? That's it? We only got the 7 or 8 or whatever? Come on now. So my background is in Christian music. Grew up in a musical family. My dad was on Capitol Records. He did a bunch of stuff, country music. He was Dwayne D is his name. Excellent singer. This guy, my dad, I wish I had half the ability that my dad has in terms of singing. I'd probably be a lot further along in terms of the financial world, because my dad can sing, man. My dad can sing. And he was in the country music world. He played at the Grand Ole Opry several times before it was the Ryman Auditorium. I think he said in the teens. you can correct me on that, Dad, if you're watching. But many, many, many. Dwayne D, he made famous Before the Next Teardrop Falls, Sweet Apple Wine. I know Freddie Fender redid it Before the Next Teardrop Falls, but that's my dad, and he's awesome. And I grew up in that world, and my dad, when I was younger, had bought a bunch of recording studio equipment, a reel-to-reel and a big old mixer and music instruments, and I got hooked, man. I wanted to play guitar. We picked different styles. I went for more of a rock and roll style. This was before I was a believer. And he loved the country music, right? So I learned from a very early age how to cut tape. And I mean, literally with a razor. The music, there's one right here. Actually, this one was a gift from, a friend of the channel. That right there is an Otari reel-to-reel, recorder that came out of a radio station that went belly up around here. But you literally, when you wanted to edit something, you would take a razor and cut the tape, the magnetic tape, and then you'd find exactly your right edit point, and you'd tape it together. And then that's how you did it. Not anymore, man. Everything's in a computer. But here's the scoop. I grew up in the church as a Lutheran. And I was a struggling dude because I wasn't really committed to God at that point. I was plopping my butt in the chair, just like so many of us, right? And it wasn't until high school that I made a serious commitment and received the gift of salvation, because you can't earn your way, folks. You cannot. And I promise you, this is not going to be like a 3-point sermon. It's not. That's not the point of this. But I'm going to tell you this. If you think that going in just parking your butt in a church means that you're good with God, it doesn't. It's like saying, just because a car, is in a garage, it's the same thing as like saying if a person's in a garage, well, then it's a car. No. Plopping your butt in a church doesn't do much other than you plopping your butt in a church. But anyway, that's what I did. And I didn't see why it was so important until I had some life things happen. And I asked God to forgive me and come into my heart and in my life. And you know what? It was amazing. The change was instant and amazing. And from that point on, I said, I'm going to use my gifts and talents for you. And I ended up getting into a band. Well, we created a band, me and two buddies, and we ended up getting a record deal. And it was Christian music. It was called Scarecrow and Tin Men. And if you Google me right now, you're going to see a very different looking guy. But we had hits on the radio, and we toured and played with Skillet and the Newsboys and DC Talk and all the big bands. We did all that, all the big festivals, Life Fest, Atlanta Fest, all that stuff, hits on the radio, tour buses and blah, blah, blah. We even had the blessing of playing for the Pope twice, once in Canada and once in actually Rome, Italy. There was nearly 3 million kids there. It was in the Jubilee year. Crazy. And if you're into Christian music, that's when we first met Matt Maher, was in the year 2000, in the year of Jubilee. We shared a stage with Matt, and we got to be buddies. And if you know any Christian music now, Matt Maher is quite the gifted, skilled, just straight up, amazingly. Let me just say this about Matt. There's a lot of people out there who are faking it in the Christian music world. Matt is not. He's true blue. And I'm saying that from the perspective of somebody who's been there, seen that, done that on the inside, right? Okay? So just so you're aware, not everybody looks the way that they are coming off. It's not the same thing as, let's just say the look, I should say. Let me rephrase that. The look is not always what's really going on. So toured, played, owned a recording studio, ended up making a video production company, ended up working in the world's biggest motivational speaking company. I made videos for everybody from big politicians like Rudy Giuliani. Colin Powell wasn't a politician at the time, but Colin Powell was one of them. The Bush family, Gorbachev, remember him? Yeah. A lot of politicians, a lot of football players, Peyton Manning, the top people, right? Okay. Everybody from Jerry Lewis on down to Zig Ziglar. He was awesome. And I made these videos that they would sell as a product to help everybody be better, whatever. It was a funny thing because it's like, well, Peyton Manning, I'm never going to be Peyton Manning. I mean, there's lessons I can learn from Peyton Manning, but there's a lot that you just be Peyton Manning over there. But I did that for a long time. And then a friend of mine reached out and said, hey, Brad, I know you're not doing the band thing anymore. Do you want to get back into ministry? Because if you do, I know of a church in Cincinnati that would love to have the video guy combined with the audio guy combined with the worship leader guy as one position. And I said, okay. And from the moment that Christa and I prayed about it, from the moment that we made that first phone call, 1 month later, we were living in Cincinnati. 7 kids, folks. Let that sink in. That's a lot of change real quick. Hey, Tim from Down Under. I'm going to have to look up on a map where you live there. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's afternoon or evening for you, but have a good day. So went and did that, and that church, it was great. It was great until it wasn't great. They started doing some interesting things that you guys have probably seen in the news where churches will embrace things that are just not in the Bible. They're just not there. And I asked the leadership about it, and I was told they would deal with it, and they didn't. And so it was about this time. It was about this time that I had started this YouTube channel. And the reason why we started this YouTube channel was because I had to say all that to get to this. So I hope you don't regret that 5 minutes. Because you needed to know who Christa and I were to understand how big of a shift this was. Okay? One day, I do believe God said the light switch is going to flick. And you're going to pay attention, Brad, because if you could not get to the grocery store, you would not be able to feed your family for more than 4 or 5 days. And I was completely floored. I was blown away. Okay, God, I'm paying attention. Because he was right. I didn't know anything except computers or guitars or video production or audio production. That's it. And I woke up and it was a completely smack in the head. You need to learn how to do stuff, bro. You need to learn how to do something more than computers and tech and guitars. You guys ever been there? You know what I'm talking about? Or did you all just grow up in this? Because I think a lot of this crowd, you just have always grown up in this. This was very new to us, like 10 years. Okay. So then we got into chickens and we got into bees and we got into this and that and all this stuff. And we were off to the races. This is actually a really funny story. So when I started doing some of this homesteading stuff, we were living in a parsonage in a very affluent area of Cincinnati that we could never afford to be living in. But we were there because it was part of the church's deal, right? So I got part of my salary as the place to live. And this place was richy rich. They were buying, like, people were around us were buying $500,000 homes just to tear them down to build $4 and $5 million McMansions, is what we used to call them. They would buy the house to tear it down. Bam. That's where we lived. And there's no way we could afford that. But we also had like a little park that was like a city park behind us because we were next to the church. And when we started getting into all this, Christa, my wife, said, I think I want chickens. And I just laughed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Look around. There's no way $5 million home, $6 million home, $4 million home. Like, nobody's going to be okay with chickens here. But I did not want to be a bad husband. So what I did as a good husband, you guys ever been there? You know what I'm talking about, where you're just going to offload it. I'm going to say, hey, I'll go ask the pastor. Because I figured I'm just going to ask the pastor, and he's going to say no, because look around. Nobody's going to let you have chickens here. And when I go ask the pastor and he says no, I can come back to my wife and go, honey, I went and talked to the pastor, and the pastor said, yeah, that's not going to happen here. It's just a little too richy rich. And then I'm off the hook. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I look like a good guy. But then something funny happened. Okay. The pastor said, I'll tell you what, I don't know what the rules are. And you know what? If the city says it's okay, it's okay. And what's funny about that, it's twofold. First of all, later, I talked to the pastor because, guess what? The city had just less than a week before approved it, that you could have chickens. So I was off to the races. But the funny thing is the pastor thought, no way. And he didn't want to be the bad guy either. Just like me, I didn't want to be the bad guy to my wife. Well, he didn't want to be the bad guy to me. So he said, sure. He thought there's no way that this city's going to let you do that. So ironically enough, we got chickens. And then we were off to the races. So one thing led to another. And here's what happened right in the middle of that, guys. Here's what happened right in the middle of that. One of the guys that was a guitar player in the worship team at the church that I led, he kept telling me about his son who would make Lego, the Lego toys, Lego stop animation videos. He said, yeah, he's paying for his college like that. And I said, what? He's paying. Yeah, he makes like $600 a month, $800 a month making Lego movies. I'm like, what are you talking about? This kid's 10. And he said, yeah, no. Yeah, he makes these little movies and takes a picture, like it used to be with claymation. And yeah, he makes these movies and people watch them, and then he gets money, and that's these Lego movies. I said, you cannot be telling me the truth. And so about 8 years ago, or it could be 9, I'm not sure. Christa could tell you. It's either 8 or 9. That's what happened. It was on Christmas Day, and the kids had opened their presents, and we were just hanging around, and, I'm watching everybody and just sitting on the couch enjoying life, right? Being a relaxed dad. And then I thought, you know what? I just built a goat milking stand. I wonder, this has got to be crazy to have a YouTube channel and you actually make, $50 here and there. I'm sure it's nothing. You probably make nothing off this. And nobody's going to watch it anyway. There's going to be millions of people that do this. And so I made this video of our goat milking stand. It was the very first video we ever made. And I posted it, made a YouTube account, posted it. And, well, what do you know? 50 people watched this. I don't know these people. 50 people watched this video within like a week. And I thought, this has got to be a fluke. Who's going to watch a goat milking stand video? And then week goes after, and that's like 400 people. What? So I made another video. And then another video. And then another video. And we were off to the races. And before you know it, we were making videos every day. I was doing it because it was just straight up fun. Honestly, it was fun, and we were just making a video on stuff we were already doing. It was just stuff it was already in our world, learning about chickens, learning about bees, learning about goats, how to milk a goat, how to do this. It was all stuff that was brand new to us. It always starts with chicken, says Swooping Eagle. It always does. You're right. We laugh now because we say chickens are the gateway drug. The gateway drug, you get it? Like, yeah, if you get into chickens, it's all bets off, man, because you're going to be into homesteading before you know it. And so that's how we got started in homesteading. All the while, this church that I was in started to go off the rails. And then they refused to go back on the rails. And I just said, look, if you're gonna go down this path, I'm not gonna follow you. I'm leaving. I will quit. Not knowing what was gonna happen. And this was all happening right around the same time that our daughter Grace. Now, if you don't know Grace, I got to pause the story because here's the story about Grace. Grace was our miracle baby. She was born at 1 pound and 15 ounces very early. Very early. She nearly died, and she was in the NICU for a very long time. And she has cerebral palsy, and to this day, she eats through a G-tube. And if you don't know what a G-tube is, she can't eat with her mouth the same way you and I do, because she can't close her mouth in order to chew the same way we do. And she can't swallow the same way we do. So she used to get sick a lot because she was on, as food, this stuff called Pediasure. And she would try to swallow it, and it would aspirate. So it would go down into her lungs, and she would ultimately get pneumonia. And we ended up going to All Children's Hospital quite a lot. I mean, a lot. She nearly died several times, and it was really, really incredibly hard on her and hard on us. I mean, she's a kid growing up that used to eat food with us, even though it was soft food, and now can't eat food. Not with her mouth. And not having all the same abilities as everybody else, you know. And then Christa, as we're learning about homesteading, she discovered raw foods. And I know for you guys, you must be going, of course, raw foods. This is normal stuff. But she discovered raw foods, and something basically miraculous for us happened, especially for Grace. When Christa switched Grace over to raw milk, raw foods, away from the Pediasure, something crazy happened. She stopped getting sick. She stopped getting sick. We stopped going to All Children's all the time. And then, as we're learning about homesteading, as we're learning about getting away from the city, as we're learning about how to grow our own food, then one of the things that what happened was we ended up getting a mini cow, like a, what do they call them, a mini Dexter. You guys know a mini Dexter? You guys got to make some comments or something. I'm only seeing like one person making a comment every like 5 minutes. I feel lonely here. Say hi, say something. But a mini Dexter cow. And if you guys don't know what they are, They're only like 3 feet tall. They're no big deal. And we had this mini Dexter cow in our backyard, and we were milking this mini Dexter cow in Cincinnati in a suburb. And everything was fine for months. It was like 6 months. And then somebody, I mean, it didn't moo. It didn't do anything. Oh, you guys remember Harriet? Heather, her family, we became friends with them, and they are amazing people. Pastor, husband. Heather's a saint, basically. If you've seen her kids, no, our kids are awesome. But they're a great family. We got to be buds. And they would come over for dinner and we'd hang out. We've been to national parks and it's been fun. But what happened was, at this point, our cow Harriet, and the reason why she was named Harriet, you guys ready for this? She had hairy udders. Got to clean them extra good. Somebody ratted us out. Somebody said, hey, you have a cow in your backyard. And we're like, it's not really a cow. Look at this thing. It's only this, it's this big. People have goats for pets. People have sheep for pets. This is just a big sheep. And the zoning department said, you can either move or get rid of the cow. And you got to keep in mind now for us folks, because our daughter Grace, who's been sick a lot now, is not getting sick. And it didn't take but 30 seconds for Christa and I to pray. And we decided immediately, we're not going back to feeding her garbage and her being sick all the time. There's no way. And you know what we did? This is what's so miraculous and awesome. And this is a testament to this crowd, guys. This is a testament to this crowd. We made a video, something like this, except we were just so upset and we were mad about what was happening with zoning and this cow and our daughter Grace and her food. And some people reached out and said, hey, since you guys have made the decision to get out of there, we had a few folks from around the country say, well, we have property. You want to buy it? Here you go. Here it is. Come check it out. And one lady who basically saved the day, I can't even tell you, folks. I can't even tell you. She saved the day. This lady who we didn't even know reached out and said, hey, I have a farm in central Wisconsin and I can't use it anymore because she had become quadriplegic. Car accident. Yeah. She didn't live there. And she basically made it to where it was like no strings attached. You can rent it until you don't want it anymore, or rent it till you want to buy it. Or it was unbelievable. We drove up and it was that moment, you know, where the clouds part, and the rays of sun come down, and you see this barn, and you see this old house, and you see where you're at, and it's like God has prepared this for us, folks. This has been in advance God's blessing in our family. And we moved here, not knowing anything about central Wisconsin. I mean, zippo. I mean, it would have been crazy for us to have lived through an entire inch of snow in a year, maybe two, where we used to be. And now we're dealing with serious cold, serious snow, not knowing what we're doing. We moved to Wisconsin without any clue of machinery that needs to be used, ATVs and tractors, and we were going to go and be those homesteaders. We're going to do it. We're going to wrangle the world by a lasso, right? And I tell you what, we did not get our butts handed to us, but boy, was it close. Some of those moments where you're just going, what did I do? I can't even believe this. That and one part of this I haven't even told you guys at all. For the last 10 years, I have had debilitating back issues. I have serious arthritis, osteo, and rheumatoid. Fortunately, Moringa has worked for that. No lie. But I also have some kind of weird autoimmune disease where my back, it's just unbelievably locks up, and the pain, I can't even tell you. So I've been struggling with that. Now, you're here. You're dealing with Wisconsin, brother. And God has been good. And you guys have been there for us. You have been a support system that you don't even know. You don't even know. I'm friends with so many people that are in this list here. Every once in a while, we'll get a text or a call or an email or something. And we've grown this community by God's grace, not because we have a YouTube channel. But all that to say this, I wanted to get, I know this is long. That was 25 minutes to say this. Because of this YouTube channel, because people reach out to us, because for whatever reason, they either like you or trust you or they feel like they know you. People reach out to us who are in the intelligence community, military community, alphabet soup community. That combined with so much stuff. Let's just say that one of the big things that we've been trying to tell you guys again and again and again is get ready for a big shift in the world. Now, nobody has told us any one definitive moment, and we're not going to sell you some doodad at this point to scare you and sell you something. We're not going to do that. But what I am going to say is this. If you don't know how to grow food, get food without going to a store, make food without going to a store for 6 weeks, you may want to consider what those skills are. Or stock up in a way that is going to be good for shelf life. That's what we're doing here, folks. We love God. God has blessed us. Our relationship with Christ is paramount, the utmost. That's why we're still here. YouTube gets nutty, guys. There's a lot of people that do stupid things. There are people that have called the police on us. This is true story. When we lived in a house before this in Wisconsin, when you're here in Wisconsin, when a cow poops and it's negative 20 degrees outside, there's nothing you're going to do to get that cow poop up off that cold concrete floor until spring. And what happens is it piles up. Unless you have a heated barn, it's going to pile up. And that's how it is. It's just how it is. And everybody around here knows that, and everybody around here experiences it. Well, somebody who doesn't know anything about cows and doesn't know anything about Wisconsin, they called the police and said, these people are abusing their animals. And we actually had a detective call me. And he said, hey, yeah, I live here, and I just want you to know, I watched some of your videos, and I like you guys, and you're awesome. I can't believe that you jumped into this world. Good for you. Just so you know, somebody called and said that you were abusing your cows, and I told them that they need to just stop it because you're not. I grew up on a farm. My grandfather owns a farm. That's how life is here. Everybody knows it. And there must be, clearly, they're just people that don't live around here and don't understand it. But I wanted you to know. So the police officer literally called me and said, hey, I want heads up. People are doing this. And Out of the 1 or 2 calls that we've gotten, how many have not been told? Okay. YouTube world gets nutty. I'm just asking you folks, take a look at your pantry. Would you be able to feed you and your family? Would you have fresh water for 6 months if you couldn't get it? Would you be able to get it? Would you be able to take care of your family? We're here for ministry and to get you prepped. That's it. That's it. Yes, I'm a goofball. Yeah, I do silly things with egg rolls and freeze dryers and coffee and Christa bakes bread and she's really great at it. And all of this stuff is geared at getting you to know how to do things. And if I got to be a court jester to get you motivated to do a thing, I'll do it. I'm that goofball that will say, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll make the silly video as long as somebody will pay attention and learn how to do a thing. I'll do it. Now, there are other channels that they want to scare you into doing things. That's not us. That's not us. So there it is, guys. Do you have any questions? Because honestly, I just wanted to give you a heads up because I haven't done one of these videos like who we are in 2 years, maybe. And I'm seeing a lot of friends' names. Do you have any questions before I say see you later? Because believe it or not, this looks like it's 2:45. It's already getting dark outside. Believe it or not. Steve Gunner is asking, what's on the freeze dryer menu next? Steve, bro, come here. Lean in real. Come on. Lean in. There you go, big fella. I have plans. We've done complete tacos from Taco Bell. That was obviously fun. Complete egg rolls, 100%, and they worked. I couldn't believe it. Legit. We've done candy. Actually, Krista's doing a real video right now, or else I would be doing a silly video right now. She's doing a real video that I don't want to spoil it. But I have a plan, man. I've got some plans that I think are going to work. I think they're going to be awesome. Next one's going to be a candy, but not your normal, candy, okay? I can't do normal. Can't do normal. Cleo says, I appreciate... Oh, that's very kind. By the way, I do want to tell you guys about the music. That's something else. Oh, I'll come back to questions. If you guys want some free music, I make music, but I make scripture music. It's all God's word. I don't add my own 2 cents. I don't add an extra chorus. There's nothing wrong with Chris Tomlin or any of those guys. None of that stuff. I'm just saying I don't do it like that. It's straight Bible music, okay? And I use real drums, real bass, I do it all. Go to, the ministry name is called everydayoutreach.com. And there's free. You can download, I think there's like 30 songs. everydayoutreach.com. And somebody, maybe put that up there. But everydayoutreach.com, you can download it for free. It's all free. If you want to jump in and get involved, I would love some help. You want to add some music? I'll tell you about the rules. Scripture, nothing added, nothing taken away. And then pick your style. I don't care, man. You want to do bluegrass? That'd be cool. That would be cool. I've done the entire book of Ephesians for memorization, word for word, folks. You want to memorize an entire book of the Bible? All you got to do is listen to this like probably once a day for a month, and you'll probably have it memorized. Think about that. everydayoutreach.com. So I'll tell you about that a little bit more here in a second, but I do want people to get involved. So thank you, Cleo. Michigan Daffodil, how hard was it for your kids to get acclimated to Wisconsin? Not. Zero. It's cold, no doubt. But what we found is there's about a week during the summer, maybe a week, 2 weeks, where it gets 90-ish, 90, a little bit more. It's more miserable then than it is when it's 0 degrees. I mean, I think it's like 20 outside right now. And you can't see this. Maybe you can. Sports shorts. These are shorts. That's not underpants. See? Shorts. I was wearing shorts. I am shorts. Shorts. We were outside and we were working on moving a sheep pen around. It's no big deal. You just get used to it. And what happens is, some friends from England. This is a great thing from our friends from England. They told me this for a long time ago, and I'll tell you what, it is straight up truth. And they said this about the weather. There is no such thing about bad weather. There is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. I love that. No such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. You know why? Because you can be outside in negative 20 degree weather, negative 10 degree weather for long periods of time if you've got the right gear. I mean, people ice fish. They're ice fishing now, right now, on a lake we passed yesterday driving by. Ice fishing. Now, you've got all kinds of snow sports. I mean, everything from skiing to sledding to a lot of the snowmobiling stuff, hunting, all of that kind of stuff. You get totally used to it fast. And let me tell you what, lean in, folks, please. Anthony, are you paying attention, Anthony? Thank you. Appreciate that. Teresa, my life in binary, pay attention. Property around here is still about $3,000 an acre for good property. I hope you're hearing that. People that need to get out, and you know what I'm talking about. If you need to get out, property around here is still about $3,000 an acre. Just think of that. It's affordable. So next freeze dryer. Okay, let me skim for questions. Let's see. Grazing greens. Is it snowing today? Yep, a little bit. They say they have 1 inch on the ground. Oh, Polk County, Wisconsin. I grew up in Polk County, Florida, mostly. Monica is asking, are you going to make lip balm soon? Yes, Monica, I am. And that's me. I make the lip balm. I make the beard balm. I make the hand creams. We're probably going to do one run, and then just, if you want it, you better buy like 5, because we're going to do one run just because it's crazy this time of year. So lip balms, hand creams, beard balms, yes. We're going to be doing it, but one shot deal. 3 Musketeers bars for the freeze dryer. Aha. I bet that would be awesome. Steve Gunner says ground up freeze dried egg roll. Yeah, egg rolls. Farrah Fudge likes the music. That's awesome. Michigan Daffodil is saying freeze dried red licorice. You know what's awesome is freeze dried gummy bears. They poof up like that big. It's awesome. My life in binary. Let's see. Can we please have a video of when God first spoke to your heart? And what was your biggest aha moment that God has given you? And who was the most influential in your faith? Ooh, that's a tough one. My life in binary, because, like I said, I had grown up in the church, but there was no moment, a defining moment, until I was a junior in high school. And what happened was this. Christa, my future wife, she went to this church that they were going to go on a choir tour to Canada, and they needed a bass player for their music group that was going to accompany them to Canada. And they asked me if I wanted to go. And I said, well, I don't know how to play bass. I'm a guitar player, electric 6-string kind of thing. And they said, well, you know what? It's going to be 3 weeks out of town without your folks. And I'm like, woo. I'm in. I'll learn bass. So I learned bass, and then I went. And it was that time with that church group that made me realize that just going to church was not enough. Just being there is not enough. You have to ask Christ in. And then that moment of salvation, that's when the gift of grace is imparted to you. And then after that, that's sanctification. You've got salvation and then sanctification. And it was that time period right after that choir tour that I had made that serious choice to say, I need Christ. Not that I can do a thing to earn grace, because I can't earn grace. You can't earn grace. But that's when I received grace, if that makes sense. Let's see. Barry is saying, the Sermon on the Mount is the most important message in the Bible for me. Any music? I haven't gotten into the book of Matthew in terms of trying to do music to it, because that would be a tough one, man. Just musically. I've been in the Psalms because they were originally written as music. So you can kind of get some meter and rhyme and reason. But I'm not saying I wouldn't try it. Why don't you try it? Why don't you send me something? Hey, man, if it's straight scripture, we'll listen to it. Let's see. Other questions. I'm looking for caramels in the freeze dryer. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Caramel M&Ms? Ooh. All right. Freeze dried Peeps and see if they're still disgusting. I'll bet they would be. So ladies and gents, there it is. There's the 411 on who we are, why we're here, and what we're doing. We're learning. And again, let me please, okay, first things first, music. Go get the free music. There's no charge. It's everydayoutreach.com. Everydayoutreach.com. Download it. Listen to it. See what you think. It'd be cool if you got involved. It'd be really cool if you got involved. You'll see over there how to get involved. But the other thing is this. There's big changes coming. There's really big changes coming. And I don't mean just because of 2024. I think 2024 election is going to be a catalyst. But we all kind of know. We can all feel it. So I'm going to go back to making music and cleaning up my mess. I've got a big box back there. It's got to go. So thank you guys for hanging out. Christa and I will be live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Deborah, don't miss it. Barry, I don't know. It'll be in the middle of the night for you because, yeah, maybe. My Life in Binary. Hope to see you there. Have an awesome and blessed day, guys. Here's one of the songs right now. Have a great night. Bye.
Come bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and earth. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, He who made heaven and earth. Lift up your hands